If you have watched the earlier videos in this series, you've seen the new shop go from bare land to an idea of a shop to an actual shop. But there were some details left to be done, such as finishing the lighting, getting concrete pads poured, and adding the shed off the back. Stick around to see how it turned out. In part 3 of this video series, I experimented with a 29,000 lumen high bay light to figure out how many I would need.
Now that is a lot of lights. I may be able to get by with just 2 per bay.
It turned out that 2 per bay or 6 total would give more than enough light, as you'll see shortly. Here I'm wiring up the switches for the lights. Each switch operates 2 fixtures in each bay. That last switch is for the front floodlights. I've already wired up the first row of lights, and now I'm laying out the cables for the second row. Bob was kind enough to leave his scissor lift behind so I could install the lights. First, I wire the cables into the junction box at the top of the front wall. The bottom of the purlins make a perfect cable tray to lay the cables in and attach them by drilling small holes and using tie wraps. Some wire loom for the cable where it comes under the rafters protects it and makes it look nice. Time to test them out. First bay. Second bay. And third bay. Nice and bright. Here's a different perspective. A few weeks later, Bob and company are back to pour the front and rear concrete pads. They start by forming up the rear pad. Then they form up the front pad. A few days later, they pour concrete, starting in the rear. Then the front. And they are less than a yard shy of having enough concrete, so Bob has to call for 1 more yard. So they start to finish what they have until the last concrete arrives. Look at that, so close to having enough. Fortunately, it didn't take long for that last yard to arrive. One week later, Bob and Bob 2.0 were back to build the shed off the back of the shop. Only it's going to be a gable extension instead of a shed-style roof. That way I have full headroom underneath. They start by assembling the rafter and hoisting it up on the boom truck. Then they put up the corner columns. They take off the roof rake trim to reuse on the end of the gable extension. Bob cuts holes in the side so he can weld tabs onto the rafters for the new purlins to attach to. Bob welds the tabs in place, once again with only a welding helmet for protection. Bare hands, short pants. Yikes. The rafter goes up and is bolted to the columns, followed by an eave strut and some purlin. So far, so good, right? Not exactly. Take a closer look. The entire gable is sloping down noticeably from the end of the shop. Also, both columns lean in toward the building noticeably. Bob had made a few miscalculations and I had to give it the thumbs down. So the next day they started by moving the columns in about 3 inches. They used the boom truck to pick up each column so Bob 2.0 could cut off the first set of anchors using my rotary grinder. With the columns now plumbed, they add shim plates to the top of the columns to bring the gable ends up to the proper height. After the plates were in place, I asked Bob to weld them together into the top of the column so they can't shift. Same song, second verse with the other column. With those problems solved, the project moves much quicker and they start on the gable framework.
Yeah, you're not going to attach it to the top?
Yeah,
Wow.
let's put it on top. I was going to put it on the bottom.
No, let's do it top.
prettier.
Top is better. Trust me.
Yeah, you have something to support it a little bit instead of hanging it.
Exactly.
On that one, put your bolts up.
No,
Huh?
down just like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. That's normal.
Bolts
I
down.
just thought they
Nuts gonna.
nuts hang down. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it.
Yep, that's right. Just nature made it that way. So
That's right.
If it.
Then comes the roofing panels. But they leave the last couple off so they can work on the gable siding from both sides, starting with the bottom trim. On an OSHA-approved man lift, of course. Bob 2.0 is trusting his dad not to dump him out by accident.
Stop trying to give Martin a heart attack.
yeah, you get my heart racing when he gets.
That's good. That's good.
Once the gable siding is done, they wrap up the roof. Then extend the gutters and reinstall the rake trim. Then finally the downspouts. What am I going to keep under there? Here's a hint. If you enjoy these videos, please help me keep them coming by clicking the like button, commenting below, and subscribing. Thanks for watching.